of you have woken up and looked into your closet and had that stare down? What am I going to wear? I have nothing to wear. Well, girlfriend, you're not alone. I'm Brenda Jackson. I'm a retirement specialist. I am retired. I'm 50 and I am pivoting into life changes. So, one thing that's going to stay constant is that I feel that my appearance is very important to me. It gives me confidence and it gives me that feeling, and looking chic at any age is so empowering. So, a lot of us get stuck into that rut. We look into our closet, we have so much, and we do have something to wear. But sometimes we need help. And here we are. We're so lucky today because we have Kelsey in the house. So we have Kelsey is going to share us some tips. She's going to provide some gold nuggets. She is a fashion stylist. She's a designer and she's a buyer. And she has styled over 1,000 women, including me, and inspiring so many of us. She has deep-seated belief in empowering the women, making them feel beautiful, giving them the confidence to go and conquer the world. So here we are, and I am so excited. Hi, Kelsey.
Thank you so much for having me on today. I think this is absolutely perfect because when you do pivot your lifestyle, your wardrobe has to pivot too. Because suiting and things that used to be in a previous lifetime no longer serve you. And then we get stuck with the wardrobe, like you said, the stare down in the closet of what do I wear? Yet you are inundated with, oh my gosh, I have too much, but I don't know what to wear and I don't know what goes together. So that's truly where I come in. And I do wardrobe edits and build capsule wardrobes and style for any look or specific. We have a service called the Outfit Cure, and that's from just a one and done look from head to toe, including, I often joke, like, and your nail polish and your lipstick. We talk about all of that, to full wardrobes, to what to wear in Europe and travel capsules and all of that. Because I believe that if you have a lot going on in your life, regardless if you pivoted and you're retired, or if you're still going, you're a mom and this and that, the last thing you want is for your wardrobe to hold you back. And really, when you step out in something that you feel really good in, you radiate that energy and people can feel it, and you walk differently, you hold your head higher, you speak differently,
Absolutely.
and everybody around you, reacts differently to you. So that is why I do what I do. And I'm so glad that we get to talk about this today.
I know. And you're so inspiring because you have a story yourself, which we don't have time to talk about it. And, but maybe on a future, conversation that we can and share it. But you are so inspiring. And so many people look up to you, and you're always looking at innovative ways to help people. And one of them is your wardrobe, your existing wardrobe. What are the things that we should have in our wardrobe?
Oh my goodness. So I believe in building a foundational wardrobe. Number one, it starts with foundation garments that fit. I feel like it shouldn't be something we have to say, but we have to say it. I mean, get the girls in the right place, lift them up, and make sure your panties aren't digging into you. I mean, one of your things that you speak about is comfort is key, and it is. And if you don't have the foundation garments that are comfortable, A, you will be uncomfortable from the core out, and B, your garments don't hang right. And so you can buy less expensive garments. And don't get me wrong, I'm a high-low girl. I love cheap and cheerful to designer, and I buy all of it because fashion is a priority of mine. However, you can make something that is on the more accessible end of fashion, let's say Zara or Target down south, or Walmart stepping up their game up here, if you have the right garments, so undergarments. So that is something that's really a priority. Another thing that I believe that you should have in your wardrobe is a pair of jeans, a trouser, a skirt, a dress, and then you need 2 to 4 blouses for every bottom. And let me tell you, when you build a wardrobe that works for you, and this is, a little prelude into what a capsule is that when the tops start going, they'll go with your jeans, but the top will also go with your trousers. So I'm not saying that you need 2 to 4 for every bottom. You need 2 to 4 that talk to every bottom. So you don't want to have any orphans in your wardrobe, as I call them, that hang there sad, waiting for the day to be adopted into a look. And
Yes.
we're, and if
Yes.
you have a stylist, don't think for a moment that you aren't immune to that happening. I think I have 1 or 2 pieces that hang there waiting for the day to be donned, but it's not the norm. My norm is that everything is worn, things go with everything. And I hate the word everything. I always put like a little asterisk there, most things, because you do need to dress for your shape. You do need to dress for your comfort level. You want to dress for the weather. And that's something that you consider when you get dressed in the morning. And so these silhouettes, these pieces are important in your wardrobe, but the silhouettes are even more important, because there's a very fine line between classic and out of date. And I think everybody says, I want classic. I want to wear this forever and ever. And there are those pieces that truly can transcend time. But I'm telling you, the skinny jean style back to the loafer, because the loafer's coming back in this year, but with a tunic top, because you had that in 2005, is not doing you any favors. And if you don't stay on trend, so a classic wardrobe can be classic and it can last, 5, 7, 10 years before the silhouettes really evolve. But if you're not adjusting your wardrobe with the silhouettes that are relevant, your classic look will look out of date, and it doesn't matter how old you are, you will be dated.
So that's like, so you're talking about the trends, how important it is
trend
to have the
pieces.
trends come into your wardrobe, right?
Right. So that's like the wide leg jean. That's an easy way to update your look. The trend accessory, like the chubby hoop earring, is, uh, you know, um, like I just saw one on Nordstrom's on sale for $51. They were beautiful, and they're not a break the bank investment to add that trend piece in. It's worth buying into, because it's the little things that step up your look so that you really are current, and not, leaning on the side of out of date. Like, I'm not also saying you need to be a slave to the trend. A slave to the trend, can do the absolute opposite of what you're trying to do, because when you're keeping up with the trend, and it is important at every stage of life, you're perceived as relevant. But if you are so trendy, you actually bypass relevant and come right back to the beginning into irrelevant. So you want to touch on a handful of trends in each of your look, but you don't want to be a slave to it that looks like all you did was drape yourself in whatever glamour magazine told you, or whatever you saw on TikTok or Instagram.
And that's important that you happen to mention that, because the trends, incorporating what you have in your wardrobe and incorporating the new trends, it doesn't mean that you have to go and break the bank, right?
Right.
So
It doesn't have
people
to be
tend
all
to.
new. Right. It's so accessible, especially with this fast fashion that's in our world right now. And some fast fashion is better for our environment and for, in humane practices of developing it, and creating it, than others are. And I urge you to become more aware of what's happening in our world when it comes to that. But that being said, I believe if you do your back end research, and who you would like to stand by and who you support, adding those pieces into your wardrobe will give you the confidence. It will put a boost in your step. People will, you might get the job promotion that you've been wanting for. I mean, I find that when I'm well dressed, I get the best seat in the restaurant. Doors are open for me wherever I go. I just this morning went and picked up some hairspray at a salon I'd never been in, but they were open. And, the owner, he like right away was, oh my gosh, like you sound like you know so much about hair product. And I said, well, I do, but I don't. I just love hair product. And he goes, well, you have an opinion. I said, well, I try it. I'm willing to try. And so that's also the mindset I take with women when it comes to trying trends. It's like not all trends are the same. And you might try on one pair of wide leg jeans, but then they don't work for you, but doesn't mean all wide legs don't work for you. I mean, fashion is smoke and mirrors. It's all the things working together. And it's
Yeah.
amazing. My conversation ended with the owner of the hair salon. He's like, I really like you. And I was like, well, like, thanks. This has been like the most enjoyable hairspray shopping experience I think I've ever had. But it was a quick interaction, but I was just treated differently than if I showed up in Lululemon or
Yeah.
sweatpants or even a tracksuit, matching tracksuit. I mean, I know they are happening to some regard in the fashion world, but you're not really taken you're kind of taken at face value and not what you really are bringing to the table.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
sometimes, like there's a place and time for different outfits. But
Oh,
it
for
does
sure.
make you feel really good when people compliment, when you do get that extra attention because you are looking after yourself. But one of the
Right.
things that I find, like personally, that you will see those like, oh my God, that person shouldn't be wearing that. It's not complimenting them whatsoever. And can we talk about, I guess, body types and
Sure.
sharing that, like not everything is meant for everyone.
Everybody, right. And so that's the other part of like the leaning into the trends. Not every trend is meant to be picked up and it's not meant for you. That's what's so great about having so many trends. I mean, on the retail floor, I hear often is, oh my gosh, it just seems like everything is going right now. And it's true, there's a lot going on in the trend world, but there's certain looks and certain pieces that are meant for certain silhouettes of bodies. So if you are a little thicker in the middle, the crop top is not your friend, but the crop sweater, like when I say crop top, I mean the ones that end just after your bra, but the crop sweater that ends at your hip is
Different
the right,
stories.
yeah, it's a totally different story. It's the right length. It's all proportions, right? I
Yeah.
hold two styling secrets, tips, foundational rules, whatever we want to call them,
Okay, what are they?
through every time I style somebody in and on any trend. The first one is we stress in the rule of twos. So the rule of twos is when you take your one highlighting color and you accent it somewhere else. So for instance, today, my pink earring matches my pink. Therefore, we create a unified look. The other, so and if let's say you're wearing a multitude of colors and in the palette is, let's say, this floral or gingham or something, you pick out the color in it and then you highlight it in an accessory, your shoe, your lipstick, your nail polish. It's just that little refined detail that steps up the look. The
So in
second,
twos.
yeah,
In
the rule
twos.
of twos in colors.
Okay.
Now, the rule of thirds is in proportion. And that's when it comes into styling for your shape. So if you're tall, or if you're short, this rule still applies. It's the rule of thirds. You break your body into thirds. So kind of at the knee, at the waist approximately, and kind of to your shoulders or up to your head. So 1, 2, 3. When you're styling, you want to be in 2/3, 1/3. So that's why the midi dress works well. That's why the mini dress works well. It's the 2/3 on the bottom, 1/3 kind of on the top, give or take. If that gives, it's not, scientific 1/3, 2/3, but it
Yeah.
gives you idea in proportions. And, like the duster sweaters that were happening before, those are they were coming to the 2/3 lengths. Now we're seeing maxi skirts. Now we're going in the full shape. But if you think of it, we're breaking it up with a shorter top, 1/3 on top, 2/3 on the maxi skirt. And so if we play with these proportions, most trends can work for most people because it's all smoke and mirrors, color and proportion.
See, and that's good to know. And I'm gonna kind of go back and reverse it in that some of the tighter fitting things are trends and clothes, which we all want to wear, but some of us cannot. whether you're skinny or big. Let's talk about the big C, that I I talk about all the time, and it's like cellulite. How important is it to have an undergarment to smooth it out? Like, we don't need to show that C.
That is really what it is. It's the foundation garment that sets your whole
Mhm.
look up. And
Yeah.
there, thank God, there are people like Spanx and oh gosh,
Honey,
so,
um, honey
like
love.
yeah, Honey Love, Yummy Tummy, Spanx kind of just always kind of Spanx kind of became like the Kleenex of shapewear, you
Yes.
know, tissue and Kleenex versus foundation garments and
Yeah.
Spanx. But Spanx was started with the whole mindset that she wanted to wear white pants and not have everything seen. So that really is the big C. Like it
Yeah.
covers that up and it just gives you that, tight little look. And it doesn't matter how skinny you are. Everybody has, I shouldn't
Something.
say everybody. I have seen so many bodies
Over
and
1,000 women? Yeah, you should have.
thousands. I've seen, to me, all the parts look like elbows to me now. It's just irrelevant, but it's just so many bodies and every body is not perfect. You might have this preconceived notion that this woman has this perfect figure. She also has that imposter syndrome that it's not
Yeah.
right.
And
So
it's and that's funny because I also would like people to know is that we all have something, and that the magazines, and even you can go on to any filter, even for video or cameras, you can go on any filter. These celebrities that are in the models that are in there are airbrushed, and to make a note, they have a stylist. And that's where you come in for the everyday woman. It doesn't matter what age we are, we all need some kind of help, guidance, putting things together.
especially when you're in front of the camera, or you're having an event that you just want to feel really good about, a stylist is a secret weapon. And it's as good as having the right tailor and the right um, seamstress. Like, if you're going to have this wardrobe and you want to show up a certain way, become the woman you want to be, you don certain clothes, like you wrap yourself in these gorgeous fibers and jewels and gems. And I mean, it's just intrinsic in our nature to want to look good. And I think that this society of is kind of, I've seen a little bit on social media, it's like, well, I am who I am. And I think there's a certain element of that. And I'm not discounting that. You are who you are, but I come in and want to embrace that, and then for you to shine completely and fully. It's you can be your best self. It doesn't mean you have to change who you are. You can show up well,
Exactly.
right? Yeah. So I
Exactly.
think that I think there is an element of like that, like you said, the cellulite showing in us getting in our head a little bit about what we can and cannot wear. I think that we hold ourselves ransom, that we and tell ourselves that we can't wear certain things. And don't get me wrong, there are some things we shouldn't wear. But I think with the proper foundation garment and the right proportions and the rule of twos, you can put a look together that is of your desired intention. And also clothing that fits. I mean, the quickest way to look like you've lost weight is buy the right size.
It's so true. It's so true.
Stop, stop, no racing.
I'm going through that transition, and I'm looking in my closet right now, and I think everything is not like, the fall's coming out. I'm living in a new climate, new area. Things are big, things are way too hot, and I have malfunctions in my wardrobe, and I'm sure I am not the only one.
It
So,
doesn't matter where you live, that exact thing happens regularly. And I mean, one other thing I'd love to make to normalize in our wardrobes is if you're a woman that your weight fluctuates, normalize having two sizes in your wardrobe. I have a handful of clients, and myself included, that buy, if I love the piece, I buy it in two sizes
oh, really?
because I know I built a whole wardrobe around this certain pant, let's say, or this look. And the pant, I fluctuate. I I go between an 8 and a 10. And I've been that way for eons. But my whole wardrobe becomes obsolete if the bottoms don't make sense
Yeah,
and they don't fit.
that makes
So
sense.
let's
Yeah,
just simplify this process. Buy the bigger size,
yeah,
have have it in there ready to go. And then I can keep wearing everything else. I don't gain as much up here as I do in my midsection and my hip. I get this really curvy figure and it's really feminine. And I've just learned to embrace it. And
yeah.
it is what it is. But there's no need for shame or guilt that
No,
your pants don't fit. Let's
yeah,
just buy pants that fit.
yeah. Now, where can we find you? Where can people find you, Kelsey, if they're looking for some advice, and they are looking for a professional that they feel comfortable with in regards to helping them find their style and where they can buy, their clothes and their new wardrobe pieces.
Right. So that is something that I'm asked all the time. And so many people have said to me over the years, because I have clients everywhere over North America, I wish you could just come with me. I wish you could come shopping with me. And I thought to myself, how can I do, how can I do this and be this stylist for these women that truly rely on having the confidence knowing that their look is put together? So I am excited to say that we launched the Style Studio, which is a fashion membership for women who want to have the most up-to-date knowledge, have the looks put together for them, know what's worth investing into, know what's not. There's live seasonal trainings. And then, there's a whole bunch of basic be fashion stylist things going around on YouTube and TikTok. And this isn't that, because what they are missing at the very core of it all is the support. So there inside the style studio, there is a monthly outfit audit. And what you do is you pop your picture in there and you let me know how you're struggling, or if you're struggling, or you just want to make it better. And then me or one of our stylists will pop in there and give our 2 cents on how you could update it, what you need, what guide to go check out, because there's inside the membership, there's shoppable guides with what you need to look for. So if I say that would go back to the wide leg jean and the chic sneaker, check out the pre-fall guide for this jean, and check out the footwear guide for the sneaker. And then you just have to go add to cart and it could come right to you. Because I found that, the online industry of e-commerce is not slowing down. And that's okay. I mean, we created this monster and I think most of us are really enjoying using it. Although there are those dreaded times where you add to cart and your item comes in the day of your event, and you put it on and it looks like it's for a 2-year-old, or your boobs
Oh
popping out the
yes,
bottom of the
oh
cutouts, and
yes, been
and
there.
tears start to flow and you're going, oh my gosh, what I would pay to have the right outfit all together ready for me, and like the thinking done. And that we do offer that service outside, like personalized, but inside the style studio, we walk through your wardrobe. There'll be different segments on how to accessorize your looks, how to build your looks, like technically how to use the rule of twos,
Yeah,
technically how to build your looks with the rule of thirds, and being able to really step into your wardrobe empowered. And, if you need the help is there in the
yeah.
studio. And that is a great way to get in contact with us and, get the help you might need. There's also a capsule wardrobe in there. And I would love to let you know what a capsule wardrobe is, because that's one of my number one questions, because it seems to be quite a hot button on TikTok and on the socials right now, is like, what is a capsule? I see it's kind of having a resurgence. Like, what is this? And it can be anywhere from 7 to 39 pieces. And I know people go, oh my gosh, 39 pieces. Honey, you don't have to buy all 39, you know, but
Yeah.
if you think about what's in your wardrobe, most people in North America have more than 39 pieces in their
Yes,
wardrobe,
yes, I
and they
agree.
don't serve them, right?
Yeah,
And the concept in a capsule is that it's minimalistic and that most pieces work with the other piece in your wardrobe, creating a whole assortment of looks and functionality for your life. So from work to play to grandmaing to motherhood to backyard barbecues to, you know, life at the country club, capsule wardrobes can work for you. And it really brings in this intentional consumerism where when it comes to sale season, you know, or Black Friday pops up, you're not anxiously going and over consuming all of this stuff that doesn't work for you, leading in, you know, wasted time, wasted dollars, outfit orphans hanging in your wardrobe, and they all still have the tags on them and they're just waiting for you.
Yes,
So
I need
that's
some
where
love.
capsule comes in. And inside the style studio, every season, there will be a capsule wardrobe dropped that you can use as either your inspiration or, hey, you know, eat it all up, buy the pieces. And as you start to buy, because one thing that is of my core value is I don't believe in buying brand new all the time. I believe when it's worn out or no longer fits, we replace it with better and current. And
Yeah.
that's how we work, right? So if you have the classic white tee in your wardrobe, that means you don't go buy the classic white tee in the capsule.
Right,
It doesn't make sense.
right.
When it wears out, we replace it then. Now, when you start to buy better, you'll notice the things will start to leak from one season into the next season and into the next. So you'll see you'll need to buy or add in a few pieces here, a few pieces there, an accessory, a boot, a shoe, voila. And your wardrobe is working for you. And there's no more of that walking into your closet going, the zombie stare of like,
Yeah,
what
I
do
know,
I wear
I
today?
know. So thank you. And I mean, that's going to be some really good information. And I really encourage women to consider that because it does with our busy lives now these days. It's just you go to the store and a lot of times they don't have everything out on the floors anymore. They don't have sizes. And it gets to be time consuming and you leave with something that you might not really want. I'm still a believer in going to the store and shopping, but I'm having and finding, challenges in that. So what we're going to do is that we're going to share the links down below and you'll know where to find Kelsey. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free. And if you want more of this information and you feel that you want to subscribe, like, and I look forward to connecting with everybody again.
At the end. So one
Okay.
thing that I created for your followers, Brenda, was a checklist of the items to have in your fall wardrobe. And so I'm going to give the link to Brenda so that everybody who watches can go and click and download that custom list of the pieces to have in your fall wardrobe.
Thank you, Kelsey. There we go. There we have it. And it should help everybody.